After saying these things, I crossed the Kidron Valley with my disciples and entered a grove of olive trees. Judas, the betrayer, knew this place because I had often gone there with my disciples. The leading priests and Pharisees had given Judas a contingent of Roman soldiers and temple guards to accompany him. Now, with blazing torches, lanterns, and weapons, they arrived at the olive grove. I fully realized all that was going to happen to me, so I stepped forward to meet them. "Who are you looking for?"
Jesus the Nazarene.
"I am he." Judas, who betrayed me, was standing with them. As I said, "I am he," they all drew back and fell to the ground. Once more I asked them, "Who are you looking for?"
Jesus the Nazarene.
"I told you that I am he, and since I am the one you want, let these others go." I did this to fulfill my own statement. I did not lose a single one of those you have given me. Then Simon Peter drew a sword and slashed off the right ear of Malchus, the high priest's slave. "Put your sword back into its sheath. Shall I not drink from the cup of suffering the Father has given me?" So the soldiers, their commanding officer, and the temple guards arrested me and tied me up. They first took me to Annas, since he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest at that time. Caiaphas was the one who had told the other Jewish leaders,
"It's better that one man should die for the people."
Simon Peter followed me, as did another of the disciples. That other disciple was acquainted with the high priest, so he was allowed to enter the high priest's courtyard with me. Peter had to stay outside the gate. Then the disciple who knew the high priest spoke to the woman watching at the gate, and she let Peter in. The woman asked Peter,
"You're not one of that man's disciples, are you?"
"No, I am not."
Because it was cold, the household servants and the guards had made a charcoal fire. They stood around it, warming themselves, and Peter stood with them, warming himself. Inside, the high priest began asking me about my followers and what I had been teaching them. Everyone knows what I teach. I have preached regularly in the synagogues and the temple where the people gather. I have not spoken in secret. Why are you asking me this question? Ask those who heard me. They know what I said. Then one of the temple guards standing nearby slapped me across the face.
Is that the way to answer the high priest?
If I said anything wrong, you must prove it. But if I'm speaking the truth, why are you beating me? Then Annas bound me and sent me to Caiaphas, the high priest. Meanwhile, as Simon Peter was standing by the fire warming himself, they asked him again,
"You're not one of his disciples, are you?"
"No, I am not."
But one of the household slaves of the high priest, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, saw him.
Didn't I see you out there in the olive grove with Jesus?
Again Peter denied it, and immediately a rooster crowed. My trial before Caiaphas ended in the early hours of the morning. Then I was taken to the headquarters of the Roman governor. My accusers didn't go inside because it would defile them, and they wouldn't be allowed to celebrate the Passover. So Pilate, the governor, went out to them and asked,
"What is your charge against this man?"
We wouldn't have handed him over to you if he weren't a criminal.
"Then take him away and judge him by your own law."
Only the Romans are permitted to execute someone.
This fulfilled my prediction about the way I would die. Then Pilate went back into his headquarters and called for me to be brought to him.
"Are you the king of the Jews?"
Is this your own question, or did others tell you about me?
"Am I a Jew? Your own people and their leading priests brought you to me for trial. Why? What have you done?"
My kingdom is not an earthly kingdom. If it were, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish leaders. But my kingdom is not of this world.
"So you are a king?"
You say I am a king. Actually, I was born and came into the world to testify to the truth. All who love the truth recognize that what I say is true.
"What is truth?"
Then he went out again to the people and told them,
"He is not guilty of any crime, but you have a custom of asking me to release one prisoner each year at Passover. Would you like me to release this king of the Jews?"
But they shouted back,
No, not this man. We want Barabbas.
Barabbas was a revolutionary. I faced my betrayers and accusers with courage, knowing that my kingdom is not of this world. Though I was rejected and sentenced unjustly, I remained steadfast, fulfilling my purpose to testify to the truth. In the midst of darkness and denial, I stood as the light, calling all who love the truth to follow me.